What's up, guys? So as you can see, I've got one of these new Amazon tree boa rack slots already put together. Got a snake in there. That's Zorro. If you guys have been following me on Instagram, you've already seen a picture of him. He's in shed right now. Then I also have another red calico animal under him. It's a big female. I'm going to show you exactly what I did to get him set up. Okay guys, so don't mind the mess. Obviously it's still an active construction zone over here, but here we've got one of these Cambro tubs, and it's got the air holes already drilled into it, and now we're gonna start to set it up. I'm gonna take these corrugated tubes that you can see over here, whoop, right there. I do one on each side so that I can create a platform in the back since this rack is running back heat. And yeah, so let's get started. So now what we're gonna do is take one of these corrugated plastic tubes used for like drainage, whatever. I cut them from just a giant piece, and it's going to go just under the air holes in here. I'm basically just going to drill 2 holes that will create a space for me to zip tie this right to the side. And I'm going to do that again on the other side. So this basically is going to create an arboreal hide. But since I'm doing it on both sides, it's going to also allow me to have a platform. So this rack is heated with back heat, which means the animal needs to be able to get a little bit closer to the back than normal if I was using like a radiant heat panel like what I have in my cage. Let's get this zip tied in and we'll do the other one. Get it nice and tight, but also allow it to be a little bit of play and wiggle room, so when I have to clean them, I can just cut this right off and replace it. So I'm using the air holes as kind of the guide, to make sure that we're approximately at the same height. You know, nature isn't even, so this doesn't need to be either. There we go. There. So that's what it looks like. I'll snip those little ends off, and then we'll start putting the cage together. So we've got our Reptichip right here, already been kind of soaked. And we're basically gonna put about a 2-inch layer of Reptichip on the bottom here. This kind of helps ensure humidity stays up. I'm also gonna put a little bit of sphagnum moss that kind of gets hidden beneath the piece of cork bark. Very similar to what I do with my cages, except it'll be kind of more in the middle, like a cool hide space, stays a little more damp. And yeah, but this is step number 1. Okay guys, so now we've got a pretty good handful of dampened sphagnum moss. Just gonna put this right here in the middle, and then I'm gonna cover it with a nice piece of cork bark. Okay, so I've got 2 pieces of cork bark here. This one's a little flatter, so we're gonna use that as our base, this bridge. And I'm pressing down on this pretty well because of course I wanna make sure that the animal can sit on it. This is essentially what we're going for here. So we have these 2 black corrugated tubes with the cork bark bridge, and we have the animal kind of perched right on top, and it can get nice and close to that heat. Now this one's a little bit more curved, so this is going to be the one that kind of hides that sphagnum moss. So that kind of creates that humid hide. With just a little spray down. Bark. Make sure that moss stays nice and wet, and that the wood doesn't leach any of that moisture out unnecessarily. And then last, before the snake, we're going to put a piece of wood, basically like a branch in here, just for some more climbing space, and then of course a water bowl, and it's ready for a snake. Alright, so we've got just a nice branch here, pretty simple, just a big kind of ramped branch. So what I'm going to do is kind of wedge it in the corner and kind of side, so it'll almost act as an extra bit of stabilizing for this piece of cork bark to keep it in place back here, which is kind of nice. It just provides another element for this animal to climb on, basically increasing our space. So we're going to add a water bowl, and then we're going to get a snake. All right, guys, so that top cage is in, and this is the male that is going to go in there. It's part of this interesting patch nose project that I'm just kind of tinkering around with. So let's get him in that enclosure now. And just, of course, immediately in there, he's going to cruise around, find a great place to kind of settle for the evening. And that is that, guys.